The orders just keep coming. Good, good, good. I knew they would. You hope they would. The camera business is like this. All cylinders seem to be going. I'm very, very thankful on the Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Welcome, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. Dealer here with the Crazy Picker Life Wednesday edition. Well, I came in yesterday on my day off and I got a jump on the orders. There's a bunch of them already. I mean, that's pretty good for one day turnaround. Well, it's a love-hate. I love having the orders. I gotta turn my attitude around. I don't hate packing them, but after a point, it's like, really? Oh, I know, it's awful. It's awful. I should love orders from the minute they happen until the packing is done. The rest of my life is just so busy, so it's challenging. I'll work on that. I've got a stack. I've got a few minutes. I'm gonna start working on those. This is a fairly rare mint Hasselblad battery cap cover. It's an example of one of the Hasselblad accessories that we got. I don't know what we paid for these each. I didn't do the math, the division, but $3, $5, something like that. This one sold for $76.09 plus some shipping to Canada. Let's get that out of here. This one is a 1992 Bulova T2 Railroad approved Quartzman 24-hour military watch, sold for $67.99. A lot of the watches we pay $10 or less, in fact most of them, and I don't know what the average price we pay for a watch is, but it's not too much at this point unless it's something really special that we know we can flip. So that's a good one, going to North Carolina. Almost didn't show this Palyard Bolex movie camera handle. This is a new old stock movie handle, $27.41, going to New York. Unbranded 80mm f5.6 eyepiece lens, $20 shipped to New York. Well, just to clarify, I didn't get a lot of packing done when I started on today's stuff before I had to take it in. So I've got 4 in for Thursday's shipment. It is, of course, Wednesday evening, but I didn't want you to think through the way that this camera captures my day that I'm still working on today's shipments. I had to take stuff in. So here is a 16-inch vintage Japanese made screw-in mechanical shutter release, $13.34 plus shipping, going to Slovakia. Well, we've got a lot of lenses to sell, and that season is starting now, so I expect these all to start really hopping, and in reality they are. A lot of them don't go for a whole lot, but when you get them for $3 or something, $4, $21.31 for this Kodak enlarging Ectanon 161mm f4.5 lens, going to Colorado. This is a Nikon AF Nikkor 28 to 80mm f3.5 f5.6G, and this one sold for $42.27, going to Missouri. Okay, so here's an ugly old Leach Art Deco hotel motel hand crank. I don't know how that works. Telephone, heavy as all get out. Now here's the thing about phones. Phones are pretty decent. I don't know what I picked this up for, $5. Probably should pick up most dial phones and older for $5, and then this one sold for $21.25. I probably could have sold it for more. The key is to use a medium flat rate box, which ships it for $12.40 or $12.60, and then you'll attract the attention of the collectors because they don't feel like you're overcharging them for shipping. This thing has got to be like 8 or 9 pounds, maybe 10 or 11. This thing is really heavy. So flat rate box, that's the way to go. Medium flat rate box. You can just advertise it as shipping with the flat rate box if you know how to do that. That's what you got to do. Let's ship that to Arizona. All right, so I bought all these Badge-O-Minute things a while back. Piece lot, part lot, for $8. This sold at auction, 7-day auction, for $26 plus a bunch of shipping. $34.70. That's a lot of shipping. I might have to refund a little bit of that. Let's get that to Georgia. Here is a JCPenney teleconverter for Minolta MD lenses. This is not a big money maker. $7 shipped, going to Washington State. Here is a Canon adapter that sold for $53.39 plus shipping, going to Chile. I hope it makes it. I've been having trouble getting down there. There is a Minolta SRT 100, 101, 102, 201. Fits all of those. Battery cap cover, $9.78 shipped. Little goober. Some would say there's a little bit of a grind to packing all these orders. I don't know what they're talking about. This is just awesome. Oh, this one is a Palyard Bolex H8H16 reflex movie camera shutter release cable socket adapter. $16.90. That little goober is going to Arizona. Okay, so I am certainly starting to appreciate Hasselblad accessories. This is a close-up filter. Carl Zeiss T Proxer B60. And this sold for $48.18, going to California. Well, there's the book, Leica, the First 50 Years. I think I'm going to write a book like that. Dealer, the First 50 Years. Probably make 100 copies, and I'll make those available for $3.99 plus shipping, $3.99. Oh, let's see. Let's send that to Puerto Rico for $13.34 shipped. There's a nice Sears Auto EE 135mm f2.8. Sold for $47.23 plus shipping, going to the United Kingdom. Alright, so when you buy like 300 shutter releases, you're going to end up with some that you cannot identify or have problems or whatever. Here's a miscellaneous lot of 11 of them. Sold for $15.12, going to Washington State. Okay, for packing, I run a 2-barrel shotgun setup. Barrel 1 is out. Barrel 2 is out. That's from Uline, by the way. Very handy. Hope to mount that in my trailer or my setup when I go on the road. Let me reload my shotgun. So some people might ask, why the heck do you use that 3/16 inch, 12-inch wide, 200 roll of Uline bubble wrap? I don't know. Some things are better left unasked. Alright, my shotgun is reloaded. I should be good for another couple weeks on those. Week, couple weeks, don't know. Oh, what do I got here? Don't get off track. Keep tracking. It's getting late. Tokina Minolta mount, $31.98, going to Detroit, Michigan. Unity Digital 64 megabyte compact flash CF camera memory card, $7.69. Tested and shipped to Texas. Tiffin, $10.98 for this adapter, going to Massachusetts.
Of the planet we live
right.
On. Imagine
Adam LeBou. Okay, not all zoom lenses are Door stops. This is a Minolta MD 70 to 210 millimeter f4.0 prime. $62.29. Going to New Hampshire. And this was listed just Monday. Ship that. Okay, that was a lot of packing. I think that's it for now. So, I don't know. We've been filling up totes. Monday was pretty heavy. Tuesday I was going to take off and it was pretty heavy, and I got those in today. This is again pretty heavy. This is good. I mean, it's daunting, but it's good. And I kind of knew it was coming, and it's strange. I don't know how to time it out exactly, but this time of year to April we can have streaks of busy camera stuff. We've got a lot of good camera stuff listed, so that's certainly part of it. Bought a few things for banana peeler. Today we sold a couple hats this week, so I went out and reinvested the money. The hats sold this week for those are two vintage ones, 20 bucks or so. So I spent 13 bucks on the best hats I could find just to reinvest. I don't even know what that is, but some sort of fitted hat. Some of these are, 60, 70 cents, and some of them are $2, $3. Idaho malting barley, Anheuser-Busch. That's really actually a pretty cool one. I bet that one will go. Cubs, I don't know. These two are the same. I didn't check if they're the same size. We'll get my camera on it. If those are the same size, we'll lot those up. That's it. So got those. Let me check if I have any more orders. Okay, that's it for orders. Now for me, orders are always priority. I've got to get those done. So a lot of times I'll put anything else aside. If a lot of orders come in, that's just what I have to do. And my schedule is always interruptions, always flexible, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to do some listing tonight. It's already 11 o'clock. And I've got okay energy, but I've got another thing I need to do. I'm going to bring it up here and see if anybody out there has any thoughts in this. I don't know if I really need to do anything other than I've got to follow up on these two outstanding items that have been refunded. I'll explain it all in just a minute. And then I have to follow up on one that's sort of pending. I don't think I've changed anything, and I've got to do something about it because this is ridiculous. So here's what happens. We send a lot of stuff internationally, and if it's small, light, $50 or less stuff, first class is the way to go. As things get heavier, international shipping, you can do first class up to 4 pounds. And then after that, you're forced to do priority shipping, which is really expensive. Priority shipping overseas, $50, $60, $70, $80. And so heavy stuff, you've got a problem. Well, you can go with global shipping, and I think global shipping is pretty good, except for light things. I think people get scared away on the light things, which is the bulk of our camera items that we ship overseas are light little accessories, and I think global shipping would scare people away. I think that's why we sell so many things. But what we used to do is we used to do expensive things, we used to do priority, and heavy things we used to do priority. We've started to put first class on some reasonably expensive things and a few heavier things like video recorders. And it's come back to hit us lately like this. We'll send something out first class, like this last one was a $150 video camera, right? Maybe it's probably $120 video camera, and then there's $30 shipping. So we send it out first class, and it doesn't get there right away. And obviously we just had holidays in the United States. It shows it goes to Chicago, and then it looks like it disappears, and then 3 weeks go by and it doesn't show up. Now eBay puts an estimated delivery range on there, and so the person who's buying it's like, well, that thing's going to show up, right? So then they open a case. They don't really contact me, or if they do, they're all like, where is it? Refund my order. I'm like, refund your order? I'm not the post office. It's first class. It's slow. It hasn't hit your, there's a lot of factors. It hasn't hit your customs place yet. I mean, I cordially put it, but I put it straight to people. And usually that gets me by, right? And some things end up getting delivered, and some things end up coming back, and some things are lost. Well, the new twist on it is the person opens a case, and eBay does their thing, and they say, we'll review it. And then they want me to, put updated tracking, contact the person, refund the money, whatever, right? So I put the tracking in there, and then I contact them and I say, hey, look, the tracking doesn't show much. It's first class. When it hits your customs, we'll know more. So, a couple days pass. The person's like, bing, bang, boom. Okay, we'll wait a couple days. And then they hit eBay again. They're like, I want my money back. And then eBay gives them their money back. $150. My item is out there. It could be on the way back to me, but what it shows is it just hasn't been scanned. It could have been ripped off. It certainly hasn't hit the country. Sometimes things take, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. That's the fallout from first class. Now, I also think first class would be the items that bad mail people, if there are any out there, would rip off. Because it says right on there, $150 or whatever, and there's no priority mail, there's no $50 guarantee, there's going to be no repercussions. No postmaster's going to say, hey, we've had a lot of these $50 refunds happening in your depot. You need to find out who's ripping stuff off. So that could be. But here's the bottom line. I'm out the money, which is whatever I paid for the item, plus shipping. So like in the camcorder, $25 for the camcorder, $30 for the camcorder, $30 shipping. I'm out $60 if I never see the item again. But if it's delivered, how am I going to know unless I'm sitting here checking it all the time? Or if the person's honest on the other end, they could send it back, and I will have to send them an email saying, hey, would you let me know if it shows up? Some people might, some people might not. Some people have gotten something in the past and they've kept it and they've paid me after I've refunded my money because it was like 4 months. But this has only been 5 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. I'll have to check. 4 or 5 weeks, which is a long time. Who wants to wait that long for stuff? But it happens. So I thought, okay, eBay just made a mistake. They did another one, which is a $100 lens to China. They did it to me a couple days ago, and I still haven't got around to, working it all through, checking the tracking, calling eBay and saying, is this your new policy? So I'm thinking, maybe this is a push to get people like myself to use their global shipping, because I haven't had money refunded before. What usually happens is the item is either delivered or eBay sort of just stalls out on the case. But I don't think I've ever had them refund the money like that, especially after 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And so that's disturbing. That's $250 in the last 3 days, 2 items. And I've got another smaller one out there that's South America, which I have bad luck with stuff going to South America. Now, I may have put insurance on these items through my indicia, and if I did, I may be able to get a claim on the item. The item may show up there and I may get it back. There's a lot of things that still could happen, but right now I'm on the hook for that, and I'm kind of blowing in the wind. I gotta change a battery. So I guess my first step is to take both of these things and look up the tracking again and see where they're at and really identify what these items are and the span of time, and I'll write some notes down, and then I'm gonna have to call eBay and I'll see if there's a policy change the way they're handling these things. I doubt that they will be able to tell me too much, but maybe. And then I'll have to send out some emails to these people. I'll have to check if you know, these are all after the fact things. These are all reactive. I'll have to check to see if I have insurance on these items. And in a lot of cases, I don't think I'll be able to claim insurance. And you know, I don't know how that works. I mean, if it doesn't show scanned, they're not going to want to give my money back. They're going to be like, hey, wait for it to show up. So I'm not sure insurance even works. I don't know if that's even going to be a possibility. So now the bigger problem is not these two items. The bigger problem is I have a couple thousand items listed, and I need to make a decision on how to handle this type of thing. If you know, if this is going to be something that continues, if this is some sort of a new you know, trouble situation for shipping internationally, if I need to move everything to global shipping and just be done with it and take my lumps because I sell less, maybe that's the way to go. Maybe I need to put, you know, things over a certain price range on global shipping, which is going to present in itself its own problem, because I'll have to go through and pick all those out and do an edit on 2,000 items, which isn't as hard as you would think. And then I need to, you know, train Wheeler on marking that box, which will be a problem, because although he is super good at a lot of things, remembering to make distinctions like that, he's not as consistent as I would like. And a lot of that stems just from not being last in line. I mean, you do not have to lose $30, $40, $50, $60 out of your pocket too many times, and you start paying attention. And you know, for a while there were a few things Wheeler was doing, and I was like, look, you got to be more careful. And then this particular thing with a certain camera thing kept happening, and we got returns every once in a while. I'm like, look, if that happens again, I'm going to dock you the return shipping. And I did once or twice, and then that went away. He fixed it in his mind, and it's funny how things work like that, right? If you're not responsible, it doesn't become urgency. And so, you know, many of you viewers out there work alone. Maybe you work with an adult spouse. Maybe you work with your kids. Some of you have been through some of these things. But whenever you have somebody else you're working with, there are certain things, you know, as a boss, business owner, leader in the company, there are some things you have to figure out like that. Otherwise, you know, some things I've just decided to let go. And it costs me a little bit money, but it's a lot less stress, so I just do that. I mean, you know, perfection is not possible, and I like to strive for it, and I like to expect that in a lot of ways from my kids. However, I'm realistic as well, and I understand the friction it can cause, so I've learned, and I'm fine with it. You know, I sleep at night, and my kids like it better too. But it doesn't mean that you can't set high standards. So back to this problem, I'm going to have to sort that out tonight instead of listing some things. All the orders that have come in have been really good. Very blessed, very excited for our business. You know, socking some money aside, like that kind of thing. Getting money built up so I can go out picking big time this summer. But I gotta put a cap on this thing. I thought I was going to be able to ignore it. You know, that kind of money going out and refunded lickety split like that without my input. I got to get in on that. That's becoming That's becoming an issue that I can't ignore. Okay, so I'm going to take care of that. Tomorrow's Thursday. I don't currently have any sales running. I'll have to start those up again tomorrow. Hopefully we can get a good product of the day. I don't know if we'll have a slow day. I doubt it. Some things will come through. Things always do. We had, the last couple days, last 3 days, I could have picked 3-4 good products of a day each day, because there were a lot of good ones. And then one of these days I'm going to have nothing. So far we haven't had that problem. And most days, you know, we have something interesting, something nice, flip, whatever. But who knows what tomorrow will hold. I think we're at 490 days till we're on the road, so we've knocked out another 10 off the counter. Getting excited about that. Still excited about that. All right, I got a couple other things I got to wrap up. I'm going to go look into this thing and start trying to break it down, solve it globally, solve the big picture, take care of a few things on the small picture, hedge my bets. We'll check in with Wheeler tomorrow. He's on a listing frenzy. You know, I don't know. He goes through streaks like this, and then there's other times where, you know, burnt out, whatever, and just doesn't want to list. And so there's ups and downs. I like it, obviously, when he lists a lot. We start to sell a lot, though, too, which is good. But, you know, anybody out there ever get burnt out packing? I'll try not to get there. Pick well list often. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate all your questions and everything, and your thumbs up. I appreciate all that. Thanks for watching. Dealer out.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer Production.